Hello, MCA Scuttlebutt listeners. I am William. I'm here again with Vic.
Hey.
On the day 2 barrage of modern-day Marine interviews. And
Operation Harass Modern Day Marine.
Yep, and we're keeping them coming in hot. And today we have with us Ashley Gutermuth, who works with military spouses and is also a comedian. So hopefully she'll help us with our shitty senses of humor and actually get good content today.
Liven this place up a little bit. Ashley, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. You guys are doing a great job. I love your setup.
Thank you.
Thanks.
So if for our audience, you might just telling us a little bit about yourself, your background, and your involvement with the military spouses in the Marine Corps.
Yeah, sure. So I'm a stand-up comedian. I do a lot of military family humor and just military humor in general. My grandfather was a Marine. My dad was in the Army.
Ira.
Yeah, that's right. My husband's in the Air Force, I'm sorry, and my kid's at the Naval Academy, so I'm surrounded.
I was about to say, is somebody so you just need to have someone go in the coasties.
Right, that's what I need.
Don't forget the Space Force.
I know, they don't exist. They're not real.
Well, they're in space.
They're in space. I have met, the Space Force asked me to come do comedy at their secret, they have a speakeasy in D.C., and I was like, you can't already be getting those kinds of traditions. Like, you're not old enough to
That's
be.
right, that's
we
right.
need you to, like, good 100 years behind you before you're getting a
You're like,
speakeasy.
I would, but I'm not rated to fly rockets.
I can't. Didn't bring my lightsaber. Yeah, so primarily I'm a stand-up comedian, so I travel around. I'm on tour right now, and but in the meantime, I do a lot of like military advocacy. So I try to recruit people. I've recruited 3 Marines. How about with my videos, which I think is pretty cool.
Nice.
And I talk about issues that are affecting like military and their families. So getting veterans and military spouses jobs, or like food insecurity, things that the general public doesn't really know are problems.
Well, let's dig into that. That's because that's pretty important, relevant content. So what are some of the general issues that you deal with specifically, besides the ones you just mentioned?
Well, yeah, so the big thing that the reason why I'm at Modern Day Marine is because I hosted a panel for military spouse employment, and we talked about how to get more military spouses jobs, because there's a 22% military spouse unemployment rate. And that affects a lot of things. So when you look at food insecurity, which 1 in 4 military families are said to be food insecure, and I started a food insecurity program at my base, and then we've expanded it through the country, is that not having that income, you have to be dual income now.
Yeah,
it seems like.
Absolutely.
So especially like when inflation was really bad, a couple months ago, and I would go to the commissary on base, and there was a $10 cauliflower, and I was like, who can afford this stuff?
Yeah.
So you look at, they already have the high unemployment rate, and then you couple that in with, now we can't afford food. I have tons of people that send me messages saying we sell our plasma to make money to be able to afford food. And so we have a couple programs we've started. There's one called Stronghold Community Pantry, there's the Military Spouse of the Year program. I'm the Air Force Spouse of the Year this year, and the Army Spouse of the Year. Thank you. The Army Spouse of the Year started this pantry out at Leavenworth, where people can come and get food, military families can come and get food, and it's just, we've expanded it all over just to make sure that people can eat, because it's been such a huge issue. Like, if you think about it from even a recruiting standpoint, if you can't afford food and you're in the military, you're not going to encourage your kids to join.
Yeah, no, that's not a good benefits package.
It's not a good, oh, by the way, you can eat the mushrooms that housing is letting grow in the corner of your house.
It's like, I hope you get to go out to the field, because then you're guaranteed you'll get some food.
No, enlistment comes with complimentary weight loss programs.
Look at that spin from William.
But, I mean, it is... and also the timing of it. I mean, we come out of the pandemic and then get hit with massive, historic inflation. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and like you said, with all of the movement the spouses have to endure, even when their soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines are quote-unquote homesteading, there's still always the perception that, well, you're going to move, so employers are a little more resistant, right, to hiring, because it's like, well, I'll bring you on risk as you're getting good, you're going to take off.
Yeah, you're gonna move in 2 years. The quickest we've ever moved was 9 months. We were at a place, but I want to change the perceptions. I want companies to see veterans and military spouses as being an asset, and also to feel good about it, because, like I said today, I said, hey, because there was a lot of companies that had come to watch. If you're an organization that has the capacity to hire a military spouse, just know that 40% of the active duty force said that they are considering leaving because of military spouse unemployment. So if you can give them a job, you're saving the country. And if you're not, you're destroying it, you monster.
Go away.
Go away. So it's a lot of just changing perceptions and making sure that people know what the problems are. That's what I always see as my job, bridging that civilian-military divide, because I can take jokes and put like grains of truth in them. So one of my favorite things to do is make a joke that people don't even realize is universal. So I made one where I said, I pretended like I was on the phone talking to my friend, and she said that she was dating a soldier, but she said his ankles were really hairy. And I was like, oh, he says he's a soldier, but he also says that he has hairy ankles. He's not missing that weird patch of hair where the boots rubbed off on his ankles. I was like, he's lying. He's not in the Army.
No way he's in.
And the amount of people that wrote to me, and they were like, I thought it was just me. I thought I had the skin thing. Stuff like that, where if you just make a little joke and then you can bring all these people together. I think it's cool.
That is very cool. What is your impression of modern day Marines so far?
Modern day Marines, awesome. I've been to a lot of conferences like this, and they don't have nearly as much cool stuff.
Oh yeah.
If you stay till 3:30, a lot of the booths will open up their happy hours.
Oh yeah. I did. APHES?
Yeah. Totally.
Okay, I did the APHES conference a couple weeks ago, and they do the Class 6 conference, where they bring in all the Jack Daniels. You got all the alcohol distributors and they're in there. So that's also, you guys should link up with those. Imagine
really
that.
Need to get that's an untapped market.
It's alive.
Pun intended.
Oh yeah. Maybe next year we can have our own bar here.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If we could get some sponsorship, anybody who's listening, with like a micro brew or a craft brewery,
there
and
you
we
go.
could be the Scuttlebutt's own.
And we get some good liquored up interviews.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So what advice do you have for
as we stop fantasizing about drinking on the job?
as I'm suppressing my latent alcoholism? So what advice do you have to military spouses to better their own experiences and gain employment? Like, what are some general trends that you recommend?
Oh, definitely network yourself. Make sure that you're talking to other spouses that have been successful. But there's also tons of programs. So you look into Hiring Our Heroes. There's a new thing called the Military Spouse Career Accelerator Pilot, which helps put people into jobs after, I want to say it's like 4 months that they're in this job placement program for. So there's things out there, and you just got to start talking about it. You put it, say what you want to achieve, because other people will want to help you. Sometimes I'll get pushed back where people say senior leaders don't care. They don't want you to work. If the military wanted you to have a wife or whatever, they would have issued you one. But I can tell you they care. The commandant came to my panel today, talked about all of these issues. He knows about them. They do want to help, but it's hard because it's such a huge problem.
Yeah. Well, and what about some of the other areas like professional social media, like LinkedIn, these sorts of things? What is it? A ZipRecruiter? Are these helpful?
I think so. I see a lot of people on LinkedIn. So I post my comedy on LinkedIn because I'm trying to burn all bridges of me ever having a real job again. But I see, and what's super funny is when people, how you have trolls on social media. Well, you'd think that makes sense.
I've heard about them.
You've heard of them?
I might be one.
Yeah, I think we actually have the majority of our listeners.
That's good. Well, you expect them on Instagram or Facebook or something, but occasionally I'll get them on LinkedIn, and I'm like, you're an idiot.
Yeah, this isn't Twitter.
I can find your boss. What are you doing? So I would say definitely post on those, but also just go Military One Source. I'll have people that will snicker when I say Military One Source. To me it's super useful.
Yeah.
Get out there and use the things that are available. The military does a great job of having resources and a bad job of letting people know how to get them, and also making it easy. It's always you got to go through the friggin' gauntlet to get it's been 5 minutes since you've changed your password. Now, when you change it to something impossible.
But it can't be the last 25
It can't be I know. They've been doing that. Oh, God.
I don't remember what my last 3 were. I've definitely learned that I have there's clearly a patterning in my. So I'm wait, did I use that already?
Password 45, password 46.
So it's great to hear that there's support from higher leadership. But are we just hearing it? Or are you seeing it? Like, or is this one of these things where it's much easier to give verbal support, but it's a lot harder to actually like put boots on the ground to
I think that there's I'm seeing both. You know, I see actual support, and I mean, if you look, the president signed that Military Spouse Act a couple weeks ago down in North Carolina. So things are happening. It's just a matter of it's really getting the companies to understand that they should hire us. And also, there's some things like you move every 2 years, right? Typically, or even if, like you said, if you're homesteading.
We get 6 tops out of that.
Everything's remote now, so most things are
Great
or can
point.
be. Why is it still so hard? You look at the licensing. So there's an organization called the Military Spouse Jurist Doctorate Network, which are lawyers and judges. And
that's mine. My wife.
Your wife's a lawyer?
Yeah, she's an attorney.
Yeah. So if she knows about this organization's amazing. I did comedy for them. They changed the laws because it used to be you would move and you'd have to retake the bar every state.
Yeah. She had one of her one of her colleagues was barred in like 30 states because his wife was a Navy captain. And so, he was barred.
Just a genius.
So
I interviewed Senator Cade, and he's a lawyer, and I said, what would you do if you had to retake the bar every time you moved? And he said, I wouldn't be a lawyer. I would have a different job because that's too hard. And I was like, these people had to go do it. So now they've changed the laws in like 42 states or something, so they don't have to do it. But you look at that. You have all that power behind the lawyers and judges. But what about like nurses and teachers? Yep. And there's some push to have that done. But for states, it's a moneymaker, right? For them for you to have to go get your new license redone, they're making money off that. So they're reluctant to want to give that up.
Well, especially from a Marine Corps standpoint, as we're doing all the force design and all these things, we're trying to envision what warfare is going to look like in the near future. Talent management, obviously a huge deal, and I feel like, especially for all of the executives out there that are listening, if you limit your employees to butts in seats, you're limiting your talent pool.
Yeah.
If you can expand remote work and those sorts of things, I mean, you don't have to, like if you're working out of the National Capital Region, you can have an employee that works in Hawaii or even internationally.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? It's just like, we can only really recruit from, this sort of 50-mile radius.
I know, that mindset.
Yeah.
And but I've done a lot of virtual comedy, especially during the pandemic. It was for companies that didn't go back into the office. And so I was able to see how they brought together people from around the world to make sure that they still felt like they were part of a team, because that's part of it. You start to feel so disconnected. So they would do things like send them all, like they would bring me in to do comedy, but they would also send them all the same like food package or like wine or something. So they had like a night, that kind of stuff. So where it's not just sitting on a Zoom. But you can see the companies that have good cultures and the ones that have crappy ones, because the crappy ones, they come on to a Zoom comedy show, blank screens, you hear nothing, you see, that they're never encouraged to speak, so it depends on the company, I think.
So you brought up the issues of spousal employment as well as food insecurity. What other sort of issues do you help deal with for military spouses that the general public may not be aware of?
Well, housing. So basically anything. My job is always to amplify. So I use my social media and my network to try to make sure that people know like what the problems are. So the housing, there's obviously issues with that. People that literally still have mushrooms growing in the corner of their houses, and that's not a good way to solve the food insecurity crisis.
Right.
That's not how you do it.
Growing your own food.
You're growing your own food. Put a spin on it. All the mold and and you look at those contracts, and sometimes it's just so disheartening because you start to like get in the weeds with it, and you're like, man, this is all about money, and money, and you don't know how the heck you're gonna get around it because it's so deep. So the housing, the employment, food, anything that's just trying to me, if you lose your spouse, if your spouse is not interested in you being in the military anymore, then you lose you, right? Because I told General Brown, the head of the Air Force, I went up to him and I said, if you give me 2 weeks, I can nag my husband into retiring. He was like, why are you allowed near me?
Are you daring? Are you daring me? What's happening here?
It's like that's why you know, the family is a part of it. If your wife or your husband's at home all the time going, why are you doing this? Like, this sucks. You're not being paid enough money. You're gone all the time. Like, you have to be all in.
Well, I mean, the last thing you want to do on patrol while you're trying to not step on an IED is also be worrying that what's going on at home, or are my kids eating? Is everybody?
Yeah,
okay?
are you? That's a big part. Are they able to afford food?
Yeah.
You know, and you think of that, and you're like, oh my God, people, you know, they have all these misconceptions. Oh, your food is free. I'll get that a lot. Or your housing is free. I'll get. You're just like, no. None of that is true.
That's been a historical issue with the military, especially in terms of, you know, desertions, where it's like a lot of people aren't deserting because they don't want to be in combat. It's because they're getting letters from home repeatedly saying, hey, we're starving, and by the way, the enemies burned our house down. So, so how many years have you been involved with this, and then what progress have you seen since your involvement?
I've been doing military spouse advocacy type stuff for a few years, and I am seeing improvement in it. I've gotten to meet so many amazing organizations and military spouses that are continuously chugging away, you know, to make sure that things get done. But it depends on the day. Some days you're just like, oh my God, this.
and this again?
Yeah, right. Like, because I hate when things repeat. I like when you can fix a problem. I hate.
Gotcha.
Oh my God. So I want to be able to fix it and move on to the next thing so we can grow. So when you look at it, when I have people writing to me that are like, yeah, this was a problem 20 years ago. This was a problem 15 years ago. Just like, oh God. Yeah. How can we fix it?
So what does the road ahead look like for you?
Total domination.
Unconditional
That's the
surrender.
greatest answer we've had yet. Dude, if we had sound bites, that would be it.
Yeah, I just want to keep pushing, and I have no patience. So I imagine that I'll try to blow it up at some point because that's how you get more, you know, notice. We had a thing, so last year we had tons of support for this bill called the Military Spouse Tax Credit, which is already available to felons. I think that's what they say in it. It's available to you if you were a felon. A company is able to get a tax break for hiring you. So we were like, let's have military spouses in there too. It's like $2,500 one time, covers the onboarding fee. We're like, it already exists, so this should be an easy hit. It had tons of bipartisan support, and then didn't get included in the bill. They were just like, whoops, forgot. But towards the end of that, I was just frustrated that it hadn't popped off. And I was going down the list on my social media, and I was just reading the names of senators. I was just like, all right, did you need a pen? Is this what it is? And I don't like to talk about, like, politics or anything like that. So I would just go, all right, whoever just hasn't signed it, we'll just pay. I don't care what side you're on. We'll call you out. And it was funny because you could see the people that would leave comments and be like, oh, I thought that they had already done, like, why are they not on it, you know?
Yeah.
But so I like to cause trouble.
See what happens when the dust settles.
Yeah.
See who's left.
Well, so you're the first comedian to come on MCA Scuttlebutt. I feel like I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you if you willing, you know, do you have any bits you have that you can drop for us on air?
Do I have any bits? Some of my bits are just you have to see what I look like first. So I tell you what, Google Ashley Gutermuth.
Yeah, we're gonna definitely link stuff in our
and then
show description.
when you Google Ashley Gutermuth, then you'll think of this. So here's the thing: I move a lot because of my husband's job. And my job is convincing people that I have a husband. So that they can laugh, but it's hard without the visual. Yeah. I was saying today, we're talking about the unemployment, how my husband's 20 years older than I am, and which is interesting to me. People will be like, oh my goodness, older man, younger woman, you're just such a gold digger. And I'm like, yeah, you don't marry a military man for the money.
That's right. Yeah, it's like if you're a gold digger, you're just practicing.
No. Most of that money will be spent on Ford F-150s. That's where it all goes.
Unless they're like a military dictator, in which case,
that's right.
Yeah.
You're set. But
It's all right. I forgot to say that I have my husband is he's the Korean dictator.
Yeah, that's right. I guess we should have called you Madame Commodore.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes, please respect.
That's right.
Well, awesome. Well, thank you for coming on our show. Really appreciate it. Do you have any like social media or anything you'd like to produce and get out there for our followers to go ahead and find you?
Yeah, I'm everywhere at Ash Gutermuth, or if you just type in short-haired military comedian, you'll find me, Ashley, who's the weird lady with the crew cut.
Well, awesome. Well, thank you very much, and I appreciate having you on.
Thank you.
Scuttlebutt is a production of the Marine Corps Association. I am William Truding. We've also heard the voices or contributions of Vic Rubel, USMC retired, Nancy Lichman, retired Frazier. The opinions expressed in this episode do not reflect the official stance of the Marine Corps, DoD, or Marine Corps Association.